Welcome to the mythical forest with Dee Dee and Boris, and I know this doesn't look very mythical to you guys, but this is an episode on worm castings and redwigglers, but these are not. Look what I found congregating in my worm bin. Look at how many snails, you guys. This is what eats all your plants too. Look at that. I mean, we have a huge family of snails. Look at them all. That's crazy. I'm going to show you guys what to put in, and I'm going to show you what's in here, and we will teach you what you can throw in your worm bin to feed your worms and make black gold. Let's get to it. Okay, everybody, first things first, we're going to get rid of the snails. I know y'all are going to say, don't do it. Well, I'm sorry, I'm doing it because they're eating up, not only, they're leaving there, and they're going and eating my plants. Sorry, you guys. So, and you got to wear gloves because I have heard, I don't know if it's true, that they can contain a parasite.
Their shell yet.
They don't have a snail with a shell.
Growing a shell. I want no. Oh, these don't grow shells. I thought they were just waiting to grow a shell to get out.
No, not these.
I'm coming out, but I don't have a shell.
That's a good song. I think we should make that. Yeah. So let me show you what I'm doing. I've got my salt.
Now we're gonna pour salt on those bad boys.
And I'm just gonna put them in there. All right, and I'm just gonna harvest. I'm harvesting snails right now. That's all I'm doing is harvesting snails.
Get you some, mama.
Harvesting snails, and boy, we got a lot. Look.
They could be reincarnated like bad people, and so hey, you go right back to the universe. You go.
Well, they went back to the universe, and now they're getting salt. They're getting salt.
Back as slugs.
They're getting a salt bath right now.
Yeah.
Y'all don't worry. They're getting a salt bath.
Could be like, you know.
Yeah, I don't like these. I don't like the fact that they might carry a parasite that's bad for humans
funny?
too.
I kept thinking those were eggs. The lemons down there. Kept thinking those were eggs because I saw the shells, and I'm like, man, how did the yellow get out of the shell?
What? You thought what?
Yeah, I thought that was an egg, but like.
Oh, that I threw a whole egg in there?
Yeah, but
and
like
you
it was
that
like
was
a
the
hard-boiled.
yolk?
Yeah, I thought it was like a hard-boiled egg.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, I was.
You forgot that
and then I'm like, oh my God, they're lemons.
Yeah, they're lemons. Look at this bone has been in there for like a year and they haven't eaten it yet. You look at this leg bone of a cow or something. Oh, look at all look at the.
Oh, they're eating.
They're in there. Look, they're living in there.
Oh, they're eating they're living and eating the.
See them living inside the marrow.
Marrow.
That's snails.
Oh man, those are supposed to be worms.
Yeah.
The marrow's supposed to be for the worms.
This is an old zucchini.
That looked like a human femur bone, honey.
No, this is a cow bone. It's like that's a rib bone.
Ribbies.
And but I usually just put
these guys. It's the Holocaust for these guys.
Okay, so let's see if I got more.
You're Goebbels.
I'm trying to get them all.
Himmler, whatever those guys' name were. And these poor guys are on the train.
This thing has really got a lot of these in here.
Look at that. Yeah, let me turn this around. Yeah, there's a big fatty McDaniels down there.
Where?
Look, right straight ahead. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. Oof. Look at that guy. That's Grandpa. Get in there, Grandpa.
Okay, before we start digging into the worm bin to get some worm castings, I want to show you what kind of things can you feed your red wiggler worms. Okay? Well, one of the things that you can feed them are kitchen scraps. I froze these so they wouldn't go bad so I could show them to you guys. You don't have to freeze them. You could freeze them if you are trying to collect them and you don't want them to stink or something like that. But if you have yourself a little kitchen container, which I'll show you, you can throw them in that. But I want to show you one of the things is when you're doing food prep, the tops of strawberries, carrots, celery, any of your vegetables that you are doing food prep and you're not going to use in your cooking, throw those in to the worms and they will eat them. Hold on a minute. I want to show you the little container that we use in our kitchen. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the little container that I have by the sink that I put stuff in. For example, when Boris refills his coffee for his coffee maker, He just dumps it in there like that, all right? And then once this thing, and then when eggshells, that's another thing you can use. When I'm cooking and I have an empty eggshell, I just crush it up like that and throw it in. Eggshells are great.
Anything except meat and bones.
You could if you wanted to, yes, but it's not as good, but you could. So the eggshells are really good to help the worms with their digestive system. It helps them digest things better. So eggshells are really good. You can put a little sand in there also. So that's another thing you can do. All right, here's some watermelon rind. All right, when you trim your watermelon down, I froze this too so I could show you guys so it wouldn't be nasty. When you get your watermelon and you're trimming it off, I give the big chunks to the chickens and let them eat it down, and then when they're finished, then I give the rest to the worms. They love, the worms absolutely love watermelon. Now, if also cantaloupe, if you're trying to capture some of your worms and maybe put them in another bin and make it, you know, after so long, you're gonna need to make more space for them. You can put a cantaloupe and they'll all go into the, put it upside down and they'll all go up in there. So that's another thing. All right, so we got food scraps, any kind of food scrap, vegetables. If it was alive at one time, you can put it in there. That's what they say, okay? Here's another thing you can do. Toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. You don't have to worry about taking that little smattering of paper towel off. You can just put it right in there. You don't even have to break it up if you don't want to. You can just throw it in like that. Or if you want to, you can just rip it up and throw it in like that, okay? Egg cartons.
They love egg cartons.
The paper egg cartons, they love. You could just throw it in like that. You don't have to rip it up even. And they will devour it, okay? Look at here. Toilet paper rolls. Look at all these toilet paper rolls.
They love that?
They're not going to go in the landfill. I'm going to make fertilizer. I'm going to make worm castings. Is the best fertilizer you can use on your plants. The best thing you could ever use on your plants. Worm castings. And this is going to go into the bin, and the worms are going to eat it, poop, and then make worm castings. So instead of a landfill, I'm making my own fertilizer. How good is that? All you have to do is save them. I mean, how easy is that? So just get yourself a little thing like this for the kitchen, and then get yourself a little space that you can save that's kind of hidden away, that nobody knows you're doing it. Nobody has to come over and visit and go, what the heck is that crap? Well, I've got it hidden so nobody sees. It's like behind my toilet. It's in an area they can't see. And so nobody has to know. And then get yourself another little place that you want to save these. Or you can daily go out every week and throw your paper towel holder. Egg thing once a week. You know, whatever you're not using. So let's go look at the worm castings now. I want to show you. So this is all the food they haven't eaten. As you can see, there's eggshells in here. That's cucumber peel. That's banana peel right there. Let's see if we can find some. That's part of a sweet potato. Let's see if we can find where they're at. Oh, here's the worm castings. Usually on top you can find a lot of fresh. Look at this. Let's go over here.
So that's dookie, worm dookie?
This is worm poop, yes. And I wish that you guys look. Look at me. It has no smell.
You see?
The only reason it has a little bit of a smell because it was right next to some of that rotting food.
Yes,
but if it's not next to the rotting food,
it smells like earth.
It has a beautiful,
like
exactly.
Wow.
And that is so good. And then
that's why they're called earthworms.
And look, yes, and you know why? Wow. Look, you can see that it's good when you squeeze it. It's like Play-Doh. You see that?
Oh wow.
That's how you know some good quality worm castings. You squeeze it, and it's like Play-Doh. I mean, I wish that you guys were here to touch this. If y'all make a worm bin, let me know how it goes for you guys. But that's how you know it's a good quality. It's like Play-Doh. Look at that. All right, so you can make worm tea with it. You can use a lot, but that's so good for fertilizing. Let's see if we can find a whole pile of worms in here.
And the worm tea would be for your plants, not to drink for yourself.
Not to drink, yes. So sorry, you guys. A lot of people might not know that. You don't want to drink it.
Because that was like tea.
You were thinking about you'd probably drink it if I gave it to you, wouldn't you?
Of course, baby bird.
Okay, so we have a lot of worm castings in here. I'm trying to find a big pile of worms.
There
So,
they are.
here we go.
There's like the posses on.
I'm
this
trying to
side,
find like
right
a big
there,
pile.
Right there. Wow, that's kind of big.
There's.
It's like communities.
Let's see.
I'm convinced
Okay,
they're
look.
social creatures.
Look at this.
Because they always pile on top of each other.
All you need is to just get a little bag full, buy them from somebody. Red wigglers, and they'll multiply, and you'll never have to buy them again. I bought these about 10 years ago. Look.
I'm convinced.
Unless you stop feeding them. If you stop feeding them, they're going to go somewhere else to look for food.
Yeah, they'll
Look at that. Y'all can make your own worm bins. Look at all the worms in there. That's a lot. Look at these worm castings. So the best thing to do is to put...
Get some worms. Get a few worms at your...
No, I'm talking about harvesting.
Oh, yes.
Is to put like a big half of a cantaloupe right there and get them to move away from all the worm castings, because otherwise it's harder to harvest because they're commingled in there. Now, you don't have to harvest, and that's a avocado shell. Look at that.
Ooh.
You don't have to. You can take some of these and put them in the garden too. You just don't want to take all your worms because you need them for your worm farm. But like that big old pile has a few worms in it, I can just put that straight in my garden. See, look. So anyway, there's some onions in there, and you don't want to put too much citrus. They really don't like citrus that much. So if you guys have any questions, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to tell you about it. I think that's it. Make sure that you have the container closed really good, because you don't want mice to get in there or rats to get in there. And you can make a worm bin out of a lot of different things. You can use a Tupperware tote. You can use like one of these. Put a few air holes in the top. You want to put like a drill, just tiny little holes if you want to in the bottom, just to, if you wanted to drain a little. But basically you just want a dark place for them to live. Just a few air holes, but don't leave enough holes that big holes for animals to get in. And it needs to be covered for sure so that animals don't get in there. And that's it. You just you can put a little bit of sand to start it off. Newspaper shreddings are great. And then start putting some food scraps, and then put your worms in there. And when you see the food's gone, give them more. Every time you shake it every week, and give them more, and that's all you have to do. And then you just harvest your worm castings like this,
and put it in your mix it with your,
just like this. Look, just put it in your plant. That's all you got to do. I mean, big plants, you just put a whole bunch, mix it in with your dirt. It's so simple. It's so easy to do. Anybody can do it. A 5-year-old child can learn how to do this. Y'all should teach your family how to do this, so that if something happens and you need to go off grid, or you want to just stop using things that have pesticides. We don't need pesticides. We don't need fake fertilizer. This is natural fertilizer. You don't need to go buy that fake stuff from the store. This is natural fertilizer that we made. So I encourage everyone to just try. Get a little thing and start off. And if you make a bunch of worm castings and you don't have any flowers to put it on offer up free worm castings and give it to people. If you're, an old lady and you don't really have a garden, but that's a great way to meet people too. Oh, I got bugs crawling on me. On my back, get it.
Oh yeah.
It's an ant.
Yeah.
It's just great to share. So if you want to make the worm castings and give them to your neighbors for their plants, so it makes you feel good to not know that you're not throwing this stuff in a landfill, and you are contributing to adding stuff. Our topsoils, they're getting ruined. That's why they have to use fake fertilizer, because they're ruining our topsoils. This is contributing to the earth. This is how God meant for it to be. This is how God meant for it to be. I mean, why do we need to make chemicals fertilizer when our worms can do it?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment. If you got any suggestions, I love learning new things. Leave me a comment. And if you like this, give us a thumbs up. And there's one thing too that really would help us a lot if you could do it, and it's for free. Subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. Hit that subscribe button, and then if you want to get notified when we have a new video every Wednesday, push that notification button. and you'll be notified. But we really appreciate you guys watching, and we would love to hear from you. And God bless everyone.